Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Buddy Fry, and let's queer up the worldview. Trinidad and Tobago's U-turn on LGBTQ rights. In a move that sparked outrage and concern, Trinidad and Tobago's Court of Appeals has reinstated the nation's ban on homosexuality, overturning a 2018 High Court ruling that declared the ban unconstitutional. The court's decision emphasized that only Parliament has the authority to change laws, not judges. The ruling reduced the maximum sentence for homosexuality from 25 years to 5. It said, judges cannot change the law. It is therefore left to Parliament to repeal the criminalization of buggery and related offenses of gross indecency by legislation. It is an emotive issue which engages vibrant discussion in the court of public opinion, end quote. Queer activist Jason Jones, who brought the 2018 case, criticized the decision saying, quote, we are talking about the rights of some 100,000 LGBTQIA plus citizens in Trinidad and Tobago. Why are we spending all this money retaining these laws? End of quote. And of course, religious conservatives who argued that overturning the ban would bring God's wrath are now relieved. The ruling raises globally the tally of countries criminalizing homosexuality to 66, following a similar move by Mali. The fight for LGBTQ rights in Trinidad and Tobago is far from over, but as the court ruled, the power to change rests firmly in Parliament's hands. Now, I try to do a little homework on this because I'm not familiar with, I'm not a lawyer here in the States, nor am I a lawyer on the world scale. But, Trinidad and Tobago's legal system is based on British law.
Sure.
So the terms buggery and indecent exposure,
gross indecency
are all old terms that have been on the books for hundreds of years.
Right.
But also, it's interesting because here in the States, the judicial system can overturn. Mm-hmm. So apparently in their parliamentary-based system, they can't. But it's interesting that this has been going on since 2018, and only now, suddenly, 7 years after the ruling, now it's suddenly got to go back to Parliament. So, I'm not understanding the full scope and scale of the legalities here.
Well, gross indecency was what Oscar Wilde was charged with.
That's true. That's true.
Yet another place to add to my list of countries to never visit. In fact, as a place that benefits from tourism dollars, we should encourage everyone we know to find a different Caribbean destination when making travel plans.
Mm-hmm. And I'm surprised the country's population is not ginormous.
Right.
So for the numbers to come out that 100,000 people plus,
that's significant.
Are that's more significant than we here in the States. So it's interesting to see that they're limiting that.
The troubling thing for me is that you see that kind of legal argument happening here with our Supreme Court, right? Their thing is throw it back to the states' rights. We can't make the law. You're going to have to change it in Congress. So that same kind of argument is what the conservative court is taking up here.
Well, we'll see how far that goes, because I know the Supreme Court is hemming and hawing on a lot of different cases right now.
Fair enough. Well, that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There's no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ